In this particular video, we will look into the anatomy of monocot leaf. While covering the anatomy of monocot leaf, we will be comparing it with anatomy of dicot leaf. Now, if we talk about dicot leaf anatomy, then in that case, it was divided into three parts. The first part was epidermis. The second part was ground tissue, and whole ground tissue was called mesophyll. And the third part is the vascular bundles. So, all these three parts are present in monocot leaf as well, but there are certain differences which we will highlight. Now, starting with the anatomy, the leaf in the case of monocots, it is called as isobilateral leaf. Isobilateral leaf remains vertical, and if it remains vertical, then both surface will receive equal sunlight and the leaf will be equally green on both the surfaces. If we compare this case with dicot leaf, then in the case of dicot leaf, the leaf was horizontal, and that is why upper surface received more sunlight and was more green, dark in green color, and lower surface was less green. This is the first difference. Second, if we talk of the number of stomata. So, in this case, the stomata number is equal on both the surfaces of leaf, but in the case of dicot leaf, upper surface had less stomata or stomata were absent, and on lower surface the number of stomata were more. Next, in the case of monocot leaf, there are special cells called bulliform cells. So these bulliform cells are absent in the case of dicot leaf but will be present in the case of monocot leaf. Example of monocots in which bulliform cells are present is the grasses. Now these bulliform cells are actually adaxial epidermal cells. So adaxial surface is the upper surface. Now, these epidermal cells along the veins, these will modify into bulliform cells, and these are large, empty and colorless cells. So, bulliform cells are a characteristic of monocot leaf. When these bulliform cells are turgid, turgid means that these are filled of water. In that case, leaf surface will be exposed, leaf will be opened, and if bulliform cells are flaccid due to water stress, there is less water. In that case, the leaf will curl inside, and that is how it can minimize the water loss. After this, the second part that we talk is the ground tissue. Now, in the case of dicot leaf, ground tissue was divided into upper palisade parenchyma and lower spongy parenchyma. But in the case of monocot leaf, it is not divided into two parts, and we just say that mesophyll is present. After this, talking about vascular bundles, in the case of monocot leaves, there is parallel venation. So, if parallel venation is there, then the size of vascular bundles will be nearly similar. There will be some difference in the case of main veins. Otherwise, it will be nearly similar. But if we talk of this condition in dicot leaf had reticulate venation, and that is why larger veins had larger vascular bundles and thinner veins had smaller vascular bundles. But in this case, it will be nearly simple. Next, if we look into this particular diagram, then upper is the adaxial epidermis that we talked about. Lower will be abaxial epidermis. All the ground tissue will be called as mesophyll in this particular case. Vascular bundles will be same as were in dicot leaf, that is vascular bundles will be conjoined. So phloem and xylem will be joined and these will be closed, so no secondary growth will happen in this particular case.